OK，
Hello Hello，大家好，欢迎大家来到瑶瑶的 ChillCast。那最近真的是很久没有营业了，今天也是非常的高兴，能够首次代表华语区邀请到我们 Solana Seeker 的团队来到 ChillCast 来给大家分享 Solana Seeker 的最新进展。那大家很多的小伙伴都是 Saga 的用户，那也一定在 Seeker 最先上市的时候就已经抢先拿到了 Seeker，甚至现在已经通过 airdrop 回本了，还有半个月的时间。Solana Seeker 就会正式开始全球发货。那今天也是非常高兴能够邀请到 Solana Seeker Solana Mobile 的 General Manager Emmett 来到 ChillCast 来给大家分享一些关于 Seeker 的进展，以及大家可以从 Seeker 里面期待什么。那今天的访谈会以英文的形式进行，大家欢迎收看我们的中文的总结。Okay, let's get started. Hi, Emmett. Welcome to the ChillCast. Can you give
Hi.
us an introduction about yourself and your role in Solana Mobile or Solana Seeker?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. I'm Emmett. I am the general manager of Solana Mobile. I've been a part of Solana Mobile since we launched 3 years ago. So originally it was a team of 2 of us. It's now grown a lot bigger than that. We launched Saga. We are about to launch Seeker, and I've been lucky enough to be a part of that since the beginning.
Time flies. It's like already 3 years.
I know.
I still remember when Saga just to push it out, like a lot of people was like doubting what's the purpose of the blockchain or crypto native mobile. Maybe you can also give us a little bit about what's the mission behind Solana Mobile and how this gonna bring a broader impact to the Solana ecosystem, and why you and Natalie like still existed to do this since the very beginning.
Yeah, the truth is, when we started, all we knew was that there was a big problem. Back 3 years ago when this whole thing started, we saw a lot of teams who were building really interesting products, great crypto-first applications, who wanted to bring it to mobile and to mobile customers around the world, but they just couldn't get into the hands of users. And on the user side, we had a bunch of people, everybody has a mobile phone, but there was only so much that they had access to because the existing mobile ecosystem, which is primarily governed by Apple and Google, was not open to crypto apps. And even if they did let some crypto apps through, they would charge them fees that they couldn't support. Those teams didn't have the tools they needed to build a really great experience or a really secure experience. And so we said, okay, we want to solve this problem. We want to bring great crypto developers to mobile users around the world and vice versa. And so that's what we've been doing the last 3 years. We started with Saga. The reason we started with hardware was because if we had had this idea of building really great mobile-first software for crypto, we wouldn't have been able to just take that and bring it anywhere. It would have been really hard for us to walk into any big phone manufacturer and encourage them to change their software in some meaningful way. So we had to kind of prove what was possible. That was Saga. We learned a lot from Saga, and now we're carrying everything we've learned, and we're making an even better phone in Seeker.
Yeah, I think that's totally show like the Solana value. If something is really hard or there's nowhere to go, then we will make the road by our own. So by bricks. Yeah, and also
Exactly.
I think that's true. It's like a lot of teams trying to push out their mobile version, but there's like so much review from Google or from the App Store. That's really a lot of blockers. But now with crypto native mobile, everything is possible. And you also mentioned there's a lot of lessons learned from Saga and that impacted now the new generation of the Solana Mobile. What's the feedback you got from the Solana Saga, and what impacted the new generation of the Solana Mobile?
Yeah, a couple things. First, Saga was the first of its kind. There was a lot that we had to kind of guess about. The thing that's hard about hardware specifically versus software is it takes a while to define what it should be and to pull all the parts together and get it built and get it shipped out. But once it's in a customer's hand, you can't really make any changes to it. With software, if you build a website or a mobile app and people hate it or there's something that they want to change, it's pretty easy to totally change and ship updates. And obviously parts of the phone are very software driven. And so we could make those changes, but the hardware itself, we couldn't change. So we started with the hardware. That was the first thing we knew we needed to address. One of the big learnings we found from Saga was that for some customers, they think of our devices as a secondary device, the place where they can do all of their crypto stuff. It might not necessarily replace their everyday phone. Certainly for a lot of customers, we did see that. We saw people who are using it as their day-to-day device. It has all of the phone stuff you would expect. It has access to the Google Play Store and other app stores. You can download Twitter and whatever it is that matters to you on a daily basis. And the crypto stuff is in addition to that. But for some users, it was their second device. And Saga was big. It was big and it was heavy. And it gave a sense of security, but it also wasn't very mobile. It wasn't as easy to carry around, especially for a second device. So with Seeker, we really wanted to start from scratch. We wanted to build a device that was easier to hold in the hand, easier to bring with you. So we made it a little bit smaller, we made it brighter, and importantly, we made it so that the battery lasted longer. We know that a lot of our users on Saga were using it to participate in deepen networks throughout the day, or play games, or do things on chain. And some of those activities are just, they consume your battery, and we wanted to make sure that people didn't have a dead phone following them everywhere they went. So that's where we started. We wanted to make it smaller, easier to carry, and make the battery last longer. And in addition to that, we learned a whole bunch on the software side, which I'm happy to dig into. But hardware was definitely our starting point.
Amazing. When you were introducing their new updates about Seeker, it makes me feel like watching iPhone launch a few years ago. It's like basically the same.
It feels like that. Yeah, I'm honored to be compared to Steve Jobs in any way, but that's what it feels like. Yeah, we have an opportunity, in the way that Apple, every time they've introduced a new product, it feels new, it feels fresh, it feels like there's a reason to give it a try. We wanted to be sure that the evolution from Saga to Seeker was the same thing. We didn't want to just bring the same device back to the same customers. We wanted to make some meaningful changes. And so we were lucky enough to have the opportunity to do that and kind of start from zero.
And also, I think that's a great thing. Like Seeker also kind of innovated a new way of their mobile selling. You already say there's a big demand from the users, and there's like a lot of community supporting through the journey. When you're thinking about there's a community behind it, then you might have more motivation to do better improvement.
Totally. It's a huge part of it. And the thing with Solana as an ecosystem, as a starting point, is we already have such great access to all these people who really care about it. And so when we set up the pre-orders for the second device and we saw 150,000 customers sign up to get one, we knew we were onto something, and we also knew who was signing up. We know these people from Breakpoint and from all of the great Solana events and from all the teams who are building apps in the ecosystem. And so certainly, like, having a community that we know well and we know is really excited makes building a product just that much more fun, frankly.
That's an amazing journey. I'm also in the ecosystem. I noticed there's a trend. A lot of the founders in the ecosystem, they've been talking about mobile first, and a lot of teams, they started building a mobile apps. So how do you think about the role of Seeker drive the mainstream of the Web3 adoption or crypto adoption?
I think it's obvious that the next wave of innovation in crypto is going to be mobile first. Certainly within the Solana ecosystem, to your point, there's a lot of founders who are thinking that way. But even when you look outside of Solana, there's other L1s, L2s, other projects and other ecosystems who are really taking it seriously. In terms of where Seeker sits relative to the rest of mobile, we think we will provide the best for developers. We think we will provide access to the best group of users. When I say best, I mean users who are actually going to use apps, users who are going to download them, they're going to try them, they're going to trade, they're going to spend money. These are users who have already proven themselves to be really active on the Solana blockchain. This isn't us taking crypto capabilities and putting them into the hands of somebody who's never signed a transaction before. These are people who have explicitly signed transactions. They bought these phones with crypto. They know about us. And so I think first and foremost for developers, you're going to have access to the best users in the industry. But secondarily, you're going to have a much easier path to build. Right now, most developers that we know are stuck in the Apple and Google review hell, or they can get through, but they have to water down all of the features that they'd want to build, or they have to pay fees that they can't afford to pay. Our store does none of those things. We are very crypto friendly. We are excited to see crypto first apps being delivered, and we're not going to charge you an arm and a leg to do it. We're fee free for developers. On the user side, users get access to actually native mobile apps. Right now, when I want to do something on my phone and it's not on Saga or on Seeker, if somebody doesn't have an app, I have to open a wallet, go to the browser tab in the wallet, go to the website, and then connect from there. Or I have to use a super app, or I'm in Telegram or whatever. And that's just not a very good user experience. I think we all take for granted what really great mobile apps have looked like over the last 10 to 15 years, and crypto's not there yet. And that's primarily because of access and tooling, and we're trying to solve those problems. So for developers, you get access to the best users in the industry. And for users, you get access to actually mobile-first, native, great usable products.
I totally agree. So for the builder side, like they get better access to their good users or the users who actually are using crypto apps. Better UX experience actually can improve the adoption or the usage, because a lot of people are talking about like why crypto mass adoption is so hard. One of the reasons like the UX so complicated. It's so hard to get like your first wallet, and then you need to open the website or whatever, and even you have to worry about, is this a fake website?
Yeah.
I will get hacked through this. But with the Solana Mobile, you know everything on the Solana Mobile store is the crypto native apps, and it's so much easier. You open it directly on your phone and you can start to use it. So much easier.
Totally. It's so much easier. And we've also focused a lot on some of the things that have made phones otherwise easy to use. For example, all of the payments that are built into iPhones and Android devices, things like Apple Pay and Google Pay. When you go to an app and there's just a single button, or you go to a website and there's just a single button that says pay, and you hit the button and you get a little bottom sheet that says, are you sure you want to pay? And you just double tap the power button and it's done. We've built the same UX pattern for crypto transactions. So with Seeker, if you want to sign a transaction, if you want to buy something or trade, you'll be able to hit a button in an app. You'll get a bottom sheet, you double tap the power button, and the transaction is signed. So a lot of the things that have made phones great for a long time now, those capabilities just haven't extended themselves to crypto. And that's one of the things we're trying to do, is take everything that's great about mobile Web 2 and bring it to Web 3.
Wow, this sounds exciting, because now I'm actually using the crypto card a lot, so much easier. But still, I need to especially also for the card issuer, totally two different approach. So maybe in the future with the Solana Mobile, there will be a direct payment app. Then you can access to do the payment directly. You don't have to go through all the complicated process.
Totally. Yeah, we're exploring all sorts of ways to make it easier to buy, sell, and trade your crypto, whether it's digital or in real life purchases. We're exploring all those options.
And congratulations for all the users who have purchased the Seeker. You can start to experience that very soon. Is there any other very crypto native features Seeker is gonna bring to the users apart from this?
Yeah, I would say first and foremost, it is security. One of the things that we built with Saga that we've also included on Seeker is what we call Seed Vault. Seed Vault is just a much more secure way to manage your crypto keys. So rather than needing an app to safeguard your seed phrase, or for you to have to copy and paste your seed phrases all over the place, in Seeker at the below the system level, you're able to generate a new set of seed, new set of accounts, and then those will just be accessible from the wallet. So first and foremost, security. It's all tucked away. It's all in a place that apps can't see it. The second big innovation is Seed Vault Wallet. When I mentioned that bottom sheet signing, the Apple Pay, Google Pay-like experience, that's because we're building a wallet with our friends at Solflare that's going to be the default wallet available on Seeker. So I think it'll just be a lot easier for users to transact in more places than they ever have before. So those are the primary innovations that we're driving forward. But the most important thing is we have a dApp store that's full of apps, teams who are trying new things, teams who are innovating in the NFT space, the payment space, DeFi, games, AI, you name it. And so as much innovation as we're putting forward, there's going to be 10 or 100 times the amount of innovation available from ecosystem teams through the store.
Exciting. And one personal note, what's your favorite dApps right now?
I get asked this question a lot. I don't have a great answer to what my favorite is right now, because what I'll say is we get to try new ones every day. Teams are submitting new apps all the time. We've got more than 100 apps. We've got a lot of teams signed up to ship apps on Seeker. And so it's hard to pick a favorite because I get introduced to something new every day, and it tends to be the latest thing that I got to test.
That sounds bullish for the Solana ecosystem though.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah, a lot builders or founders trying to build up dApps through Solana Mobile. Is there an incentive programs that we are doing to helping the developers to onboard to Solana Mobile easier, or encourage them to do more of the mobile apps?
Yeah, absolutely. So two things. First, we just launched our first hackathon, the Solana Mobile Hackathon. That's being run right now. We are excited to see a whole bunch of new teams and new products pushing to distribute to our store. There is $100,000 worth of prizes available for teams who win the hackathon. So that's the first thing we're doing. The second thing we're doing is we're building new grants programs. So for teams who want to build either new tools or build new apps, we're open to supporting those teams to get them over the hump and get them what they need to build. But more than anything, the biggest incentive for developers is, like I said, access to a great group of users. And also our store is so tailored for crypto apps. You're not going to disappear in the huge app store that has hundreds of thousands or millions of apps. You're going to be one of a smaller set of apps who are getting in on the ground level, who are really interfacing directly with crypto's most active users. So we're definitely building programs. We want to give developers the support that they need to get over the hump. But I think once they get there, the users will give them all the support that they need.
How do you think about crypto phones we're going to evolving in next 1 or 2 years? Because as we talked, like iPhone evolving every year in the hardware space, like always so much innovation or improvements happens. And how do you think about the crypto native mobile going to be like in short term?
I think in the short term, there's a lot of teams who are innovating in the space. There's a lot of teams who are targeting different markets. We are selling a $500 device. That's very different than a $1,000 device or a $100 device. And so one of the things I'm excited about is to see more entry points, more phones that can support customers in regions across the world. Seeker, we've pre-sold 150,000 of them, and that's going to be available in more than 50 countries. But there's countries we can't ship to, or $500 just might not be attainable for a lot of people. So I think in the next 1 to 2 years, it's going to be about availability and access. But as we look beyond there, one of the things that we're extremely excited about is building something that's more open, so that if you want to have access to great crypto features and apps and security, you don't have to buy a crypto phone. You can buy another type of phone, and the software can be available to you anywhere you go. Which is why one of our key initiatives over this next few years is to take the platform that we built for Saga and the platform that we're building for Seeker and bring it to other types of devices. We want to work with the OEMs and the hardware manufacturers who make the devices that you already know and love. And so we recently announced that we're going to be taking our architecture, opening it up, and decentralizing it so that yes, we build a phone and we've built some software, but in the future, if other hardware manufacturers want to have access to the same capabilities, they can do so in a permissionless way. We don't need to govern their access to great software, and then their users should all hopefully benefit. So short term, access and availability, but medium to long term, it's about bringing this software to devices that users already know and love.
Exactly. I think there's also probably another Solana value that we don't really want to occupy the market. Instead, we want to be the infrastructure to empower real users, to make them will be someone the fundamental to support their crypto to really achieve mass adoption.
Exactly.
Talk about the other mobile phones people are using right now. In traditional world, they highly rely on the distribution channel. That's where those traditional brands are very strong at. You already mentioned in long term, we want to be the fundamental layer to support whatever the brand is to build their own crypto native phone. But how can Solana Mobile itself can go mainstream to acquire more users beyond their crypto native users?
I think we're going to be able to help with some of that, but most of that is going to happen as Solana and crypto more broadly evolve. Our goal, it's going to be hard for us as a platform and an infrastructure provider to solve some of the product market fit problems that exist. But what I'm confident is that we're going to build a better innovation environment so that teams can try more things. I think right now, some of the potentially breakthrough use cases, some of the things that will bring more of the mass markets into crypto, teams can't build them because of how the existing walled gardens of mobile live, right? So whether that's restrictive policies or extractive fees, some of those really great, really compelling use cases just haven't been built yet because they can't. And so by building a friendlier, more innovative environment for developers to try things and experiment and learn and iterate quickly, I feel confident that we should hopefully accelerate mass adoption so that even if Seeker isn't the reason that hundreds of millions of people come on chain, the apps that are built in the Solana Mobile ecosystem might be what drives those people on chain.
Yeah, totally. Especially blockchain itself, start from the asset, gonna be accepted by more people. And in the future, the technology itself through stable coins, also get more people to use it. And in the end, like more people using the stablecoin, using the crypto as a payment, then they were seeking for a more native way of how they living a crypto native life.
Exactly.
Hopefully, one day that's going to be happening very soon.
I hope so.
I'm working a lot in the Solana APAC market. I know that you guys are also very actively trying to get more users from APAC. How important APAC market for Solana Seeker sales? How many users purchased Solana Seeker are from APAC region?
Yes. A lot. We've seen a huge amount of demand and interest from APAC markets. One of the things that we were really excited about with Seeker was to bring it to those markets. For Saga, we had to be a little bit more restricted. There's a long list of reasons for that, but we were really only able to sell in North America and Europe. But with Seeker, we were able to make it available in way more countries. And so we've seen tons of demand from, Hong Kong and South Korea and Japan and Taiwan and lots of countries in APAC. We've seen a very meaningful percentage of our order volume come from those countries. So we're very excited. It's really important to us, I think, for a few reasons. One, obviously, those countries, that market is driving a ton of user adoption in crypto right now. That's where we're just seeing so much growth, more people trying it, more people coming on chain. But also from a builder perspective, there's a lot of developers that we didn't connect with when we built Saga because they were so focused on the markets that they knew that they weren't going to build an app with us because their phones weren't in their customers' hands. Now that that's different, now that we can bring phones to those markets, we're able to connect with a lot of the great innovative Solana builders who are building in APAC. So for us, it's really critical from a user perspective. We're excited to bring Seeker to the hands of people in APAC, but we're also really excited to be working with the builders who are stationed there and hopefully get even more great, more interesting, innovative apps in our store.
Exactly. Funny story, Saga was like very restricted in North America and Europe. I did receive a lot like requests before, like people was asking me, yeah, can you purchase one Saga for me? I can pay double or triple the price just to get one. That's kind of crazy.
We saw that. It's great. Those were the signals that we needed for us to grow. We sold 20,000 Sagas. We've now sold 150,000 Seekers, and we have even more of them to sell. It's step by step, right? To go from 0 to 20,000 to 150,000 is great, but we wouldn't have been able to do it without that demand, right? Without people who wanted to be a part of it, who couldn't be a part of it with Saga. So yeah, like I said, we're really, really excited to finally bring a product to APAC.
I also felt very excited when I saw the number of the pre-orders, one milestone, and then very quickly another milestone achieved. More exciting part is coming up because the phone itself, people been waiting for this for 1 year, and finally, next month, August, it's gonna be shipped globally to the Japan. So what is the shipping plan right now?
So we are very close. Phones are being built as we speak. We're working through getting all of those assembled and packaged and distributed now. Phones will start shipping on August 4th, which is really soon. It will take some time to get all of the phones out. I want to set expectations with customers. We're going to do everything we can to get as many out as quickly as possible. But starting on August 4th, we'll start to wind up selling, right? We want to make sure that our logistics processes are working. We want to make sure that phones are being delivered successfully, that customers don't have their phones held by customs or by shipping partners. So we're going to slowly wind up, make sure phones are getting delivered properly, and then in the days and weeks right after August 4th is when all of the phones will start going out really, really quickly. So I would expect a lot of customers to start seeing their phones in that first or second week of August. And like I said, we cannot wait to get them into the hands of all of our customers.
I cannot wait to see so many reviews and a lot of posts about Solana Seeker already.
I know. It's always a little bit nerve-wracking to wait for those first reviews to come in, but I think we're very confident this time around that we'll have a better device for people to review.
Yeah, totally. So what users exactly need to do right now to make sure they can receive their phones on time?
If you've already pre-ordered a Seeker, head to solanamobile.com/shipping. that's where you can give us your updated shipping address. For a lot of customers, when they first placed this device order, it was over a year ago, we didn't collect shipping addresses. We just collected billing addresses and the country that you were going to ship to, knowing that people might move by the time the phone would be sent out. So again, if you head to solanamobile.com/shipping and you've already got an order, you can update your shipping address, and then we'll make sure we get it to you as soon as devices start going out. If you haven't yet placed an order, we still have phones, so you can head to solanamobile.com/seeker. We would love to get even more phones out than we've already pre-sold, and the good news is we have a bunch left.
如果大家还没有把自己的收件信息填写，那趁最后的时间，一定要把这个时间填写好，那在发货的时候才能够按时的去收到自己的手机，不然可能会受到一些的影响。Okay, switch back to English. Thank you so much for interview. I just want to make sure people understand this directly.
Appreciate it.
Anything else you want to say to the APAC customers and APAC builders?
Yeah, for customers, thank you for placing your pre-order and trusting the team that we would follow through and ship it. Like I said, devices are being made now, and we're going to send them out very shortly. So thank you for your patience. It will have been worth it. For developers, get in touch with us. We want to see what great apps you can build. We want to give you distribution. We want to connect you to the hungriest, most power-crazed users in Solana. So please reach out to us. We want to help you find distribution and help you build great apps.
And there's there's a hackathon ongoing, a Solana Mobile grant ongoing. So if you are a developer and looking to get into Solana ecosystem, I think it's one of the best chances right now. Contact this mobile team or contact me to get access. Thank you so much. That's it.
Thank you
for today. Thank you, Emmett.
Thank you. Bye bye.
在此提醒大家，所有内容均不构成投资建议，都是我跟瑶瑶作为行业知识研究的产出，还有嘉宾的言论也是他们的个人言论，希望大家做自己的研究。
道路千万条，安全第一条，做自己的研究，让我们增强知识，然后在链上开心玩耍。欢迎关注安娜和瑶瑶 Talk， 然后我们会有更多行业一线前沿的资讯跟大家进行分享。非常感谢。